welcome into this edition of Knightshift Postgame here after the 2023 Gasparilla Bowl. 30-17 your final result here down in Raymond James Stadium. Perhaps UCF is Tampa's hometown team in college football, but they were not the victors here tonight as Georgia Tech. Listen, it looked like it was going to be smooth for a while there, Nick, when Xavier Townsend took the opening kickoff 47 yards right off the bat to light the fire for UCF's offense to basically immediately put up a pair of touchdowns, and it all kind of went downhill from there, Nick.
Oh, yeah, I mean, couldn't have started off better. 4 plays, touchdown.
51 yards, yeah,
51
right.
yards, and then they go up 14-0. But then R.J. Harvey fumbles, and it all kind of just went downhill from there.
Yeah, and well, it's funny. There were a couple moments with UCF that went to the replay booth. One of them was John Rice Plumlee throwing an interception that got turned into a Kobe Hudson touchdown for those to make it up to 14 there. And then, yeah, the R.J. Harvey fumble was where it kind of started to go downhill, like you said. Of course, Georgia Tech did only put up the field goal on that. The defense was still playing and clicking at that point. But later on, it felt like the defense had a lot of troubles making stops and doing what they needed to do to get done, right?
100%. And more specifically, they just, but surprise, surprise, struggled with the run.
Yeah.
They couldn't. Both their running backs, and notably Georgia Tech's quarterback. If we want to look at our stats here.
Yeah, Haynes King was, well, actually, it's funny. It's a pair of Haynes, and I'm not talking about underwear, as Drew tried to joke about in the press box there. Shouts to our friend of the show, Drew Glukov. But, yeah, King Haynes was, or Haynes King.
There you go, yeah.
Now make him sound like he's the king of it. King Hayes was definitely a big part of the running attack, and then Jamal Hayes as well, the sophomore running back, a two-headed monster. Both sides had better than 110 yards at halftime, but no surprises there. Both teams do struggle on run defense. But yeah, go ahead and break down what you're talking about with, I almost said King Haynes again. Yeah. Haynes King. Yes.
Haynes King, 12 rushes for 90 yards and 1 touchdown. And since we were talking about the other Haynes, Jamal Hayes, 18 carries, 132 yards. It was a team that struggled to stop the run tonight, unfortunately, and that ultimately is what you could argue is what cost UCF tonight.
Oh, easily. I mean, there was plenty of self-inflicted wounds here, but Nick, as I've often talked throughout the year about getting defensive backs involved in the run game, it kind of felt like, too, after the big 41-yard pass that Hayes King, there I said it right that time, managed to connect there to help make it 17-17 going into the locker room. I think from that point on, it's almost as if Addison Williams was afraid of the next big play happening. We didn't see a whole lot, and let's be honest, even every element, all 3 phases, kind of struggled after that strong open. Right? Mm-hmm. We mentioned the strong return to open the game by Xavier Townsend. Then Colton Buber puts in the 27-yarder, then misses the 30-yarder going into the half. But there was 8 seconds left on the clock still. Nick, what do you think? Were you cool with them kicking the ball at that point?
I really was mixed. You know, I mean, it's easy after they miss it to say, should have gone for a touchdown.
But we were in the press box saying before the kick that we would have liked to see a shot at the end zone.
I would have liked to see it. I understand why. And, you know, Gus Malzahn said it in the postgame, which you can see on the Black and Gold Bannerate YouTube page. Bing! That, you know, he was kind of worried about a Texas Tech situation. They didn't have any timeouts. He didn't want the clock to run out. But me, I'm thinking, well, that was because, I don't know if it was, I forget if it was the play call or JRP decided to, like, call an audible where he tried tossing it to RJ.
That's the shovel pass you're talking about,
shovel pass. My thought is you have enough time to try to just chuck one in the end zone. And if not, you know, you got some time. And even then, it was like, what, 3rd and 3, I want to say?
There you go, right. In Texas Tech over there in Lubbock, it was 5 yards. I think they were out closer around the 15 here at the end of the half, too. So it's not like there was an issue of something like that. If he's worried about something where John Rice Plumlee chooses a ball that doesn't go into the end zone and the clock runs out, I could kind of see that. But at the end of the day, with the game that Javon Baker was having, I know he was good for over 150 receiving with 9 catches. So I feel like maybe at least try a one-on-one with him. Maybe you can get something.
Try something. Yeah. Like either way how you look at it, my mind was when we were in that situation, I'm like, we got to get points. We got to get ourselves a lead. Georgia Tech's getting the ball back at halftime. We need to get some momentum because we just kind of, you know, let them tie the game, and it didn't happen. And, you know, you could just kind of feel momentum really switching there. Like that to me is probably going to be the defining moment of the game.
Right, and then on top of that, the only reason that Colton Boomer has to come out and kick anyway, I'm talking about the missed kick, right? Yeah, the only reason why that happens is Kobe Hudson dropping what looked to be a sure touchdown previous to that too. So there's a whole lot of other factors that come into play here, but as you said earlier, obviously at day's end, UCF's struggle with the run was an issue. I know I normally break down time of possession and all that stuff. For the most part throughout the game, it was actually pretty even. But I don't want to just focus on the negative here. Listen, you got to look forward to a lot of good things that UCF's going to happen next year. I know that if Eric Lopez were here, he'd be talking about, oh, this is their first losing season since 2016, and they've lost 3 of their past 4 bowl games. Great. But Dakari Henderson looked great in the game tonight, had probably the play of the year. Certainly he'll be up for the Bannies if Bryson Turner has anything to say about it. But a great interception. Dakari Henderson was running all over the field. He did make a few solid tackles on the day, and give Georgia Tech credit for avoiding the defensive tackles, knowing that that's the powerful spot. Hey, it's almost like there's a former UCF coach on the other side or something in Brent Kate. At any rate, with all of that in mind, a lot of good stuff going on there too. Of course, R.J. Harvey and of course today Javon Baker both announcing they'll be back for 2024. It was unfortunate to see not R.J. Harvey, but rather John Rice Plumlee, to see JRP leave the game early. Something with his leg. He was able to participate in post-game, so it wasn't too debilitating. After the game, we spoke to him and he said that it was a positive readout from what he got medically. Yeah. So for all the doom and gloom that one would expect in a losing season, what took place with UCF in the Big 12 and all of the talk of cellar dwelling and all of that? They're still top among the 4 new incumbents into the Power 5 Big 12, right, Nick?
Correct. Yeah, like, let's not forget where we were a while ago when we were losing like 5 straight. You know, we were just like, can we just get here? We got here. And again, yes, it sucks. I'm still upset about it. But, you know, Coach Malzahn said it, and I think that's the attitude we all need to have. They're going to move on. We need to move on because, like you said, RJ's coming back. Javion's coming back. We just had the, like, highest rated recruiting class in school history. There's some positive things going on, and in my opinion, I think this team is going only up from here. I really do believe that. Right,
and I mean, obviously, the point of focus in recruiting, definitely that linebacker spot, the defensive side, they're getting big up front there too. I feel good about defensive backs, especially what Dakari Harrison did tonight, and just what we've seen throughout there. Braden Marshall, obviously getting a lot of noise. I heard Tremont Morris-Brash on Monday talk about him making an impact. And just all of that is a good opportunity for this team to continue to build. But, Nick, let me ask you this question. If there was one big positive takeaway for UCF in this game, and one thing you would have liked to see done better other than stopping the run, what would those things be?
When the offense was clicking, it was fun to watch, and it was hard to stop. Again, first few plays, that was positive. And to me, it showed examples of what I like about Darren Hinshaw's offense, the offense he has. And I really think now that he has more time in the system, coming back next year, we're going to see even more of that. Maybe the quarterback is someone he's been working with this entire year, or maybe he'll get a transfer. We don't know, but I'm expecting some big things from him next year. So that's my positive coming out of this. I think we're seeing a little bit of glimpses of what we could see next year.
Yeah, and I think the best example of that was Timmy McLean's completion on the night there later in the game. He was kind of there after JRP went down, made an excellent cross-body throw as he was running out of bounds. That he delivered the strike in a tough position, which is what you need to see a quarterback do when he's under duress, right? I can't put it any better than that. I mean, we've talked about the area of focus on the defense being up front. I feel like their secondary is going to be pretty good. There's a lot there. But as we close it out, I think the biggest thing from tonight is that, I mean, listen, some of us predicted 6-6 in the regular season. I'm not disappointed necessarily. I'm very, 2024 is the year.
Yep.
What would you like to see happen in 2024, Nick?
It sounds cliche, and like I can't think of anything but improvements, which, like we just said, is going to come. You know, I'd like to see some improvement on defense, stopping the run. I'll wait for them to pass.
I'd like to see people stop using leaf blowers within feet of us. Yeah, that's a good one.
I'd love to see. Okay. I want to see better run defense. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more consistency on offense. We kind of saw that here. Like I said, came out firing, and then they kind of died off near the end. Some of which was because, you know, like on that 4th and 11, Probably not confident in Boomer.
It was a 4th and 1 first.
Yeah.
And then became a 4th and 11 with a self-imposed wound.
Right. Probably felt like they had to go for it. So, I guess I should add that. I hope whoever is kicker next year, Boomer or someone new, no more yips, a little more accurate on those kicks.
Yeah, special teams contributions good. Xavier Townsend was okay in returns. I think that's a place that if Xavier Townsend continues in that role, he can be really explosive too. But considering the fact that the landscaping team's officially out here now doing what they can, we could go ahead and wrap it up here. This is Kyle Nash, the student of the game for Nick Porcelli. See you next time, and until next time, class dismissed.